We have seen the requests come in on shapes. The stiletto nail. You're asking, we're giving. Today on Nail School. Stiletto nail.
The key when you're doing a stiletto nail, it's just like an almond shaped. You have to make sure that the form is slightly tilting down. You want to be able to build the free edge sharp, kind of like a dagger. Best way is obviously to build the free edge first. That way, when you do your overlay, it's going to be easy to complete that length. I'm going to make sure that I pinch my form tight, just like this. You see how pointed that is? And you can see I have no C-curve at all. See how tight that is? It's sealed all the way, okay? You're looking at the top, same thing. It is sharp. That's what we want to be able to accomplish. This is a no. If the form is straight, right? If the form is dead straight.
Off the free edge.
Off the free edge, exactly. That means I have it flush. If it's pinched all the way and it's completely flush underneath here, and what I mean by straight is this area right here is flush to all surface. Do you notice that it's pointing up? Take a look at that. You see that? The sidewall is pointing up. It almost looks like it's ramping up.
When you build the sidewall,
correct.
It's going to go up.
It's going to go up. You do not want to do this. You have to make sure that the form is slightly tilted down, just slightly tilted down. See that? That way, you can see, I'm trying to bring the brush down so you can actually see the extension from here. It's going to be dead straight all the way out to this point. So if I line this up, do you see that? You can see it on the camera?
Yep.
You see how straight that is all the way to the very, very tip. You have to make sure that it's slightly tilted down so your sidewalls are going to be completely straight all the way out to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a medium-sized pearl. I'm going to try to drain off about half the liquid in my brush. And then this is going to give me a much smaller pearl. I'm going to slightly dab it off. And then when I apply it to the surface, it doesn't get away from me. For me to get it from this point to this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk it with the body of the brush all the way to the top. And then I start using the side of the brush to bring it down. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, as you can see, with the body of the brush. And then I'm going to use the side of my brush, to start bringing it towards the front. Look at this. Side of my brush, right? I'm focusing all my pressure around here, side of my brush, as I bring it all the way down. I'm not going to work it from the top and drag it down. I have enough product on the free edge for me to use the side of my brush, and as you can see, I'm actually able to bring it all the way to the tip of the nail. All the way to the tip of the nail so that I have a really, really sharp stiletto point. That's the most important thing. Now again, remember that the form is tilted so that when you're looking at the side profile, you can see how straight the sidewall is from this point all the way out to the tip of the nail. Once we've built this really sharp free edge, we're ready to do our overlay, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to focus on the back end. This time I'm going to get a larger pearl. Notice that when I dip my brush, I'm lightly going to tap, and I'm just going to kind of bounce in the surface to get myself a nice, healthy pearl. I don't dab this one. I'm going to set this one down wet. And then immediately with the tip of my brush at the right angle, I'm going to walk around the perimeter of the nail, making sure the cuticle area is going to be completely tight as the product starts to flow down. I don't want it to get away from me, so I'm kind of holding the body in place. As soon as it gets to the upper arch, I'm actually going to start pulling from the front. Notice that I'm pulling from the sides as well to blend it down and perfect. And the most important thing is not pulling it from the back. You don't want to take away any of the strength or body away from the back end because of the length that you're actually building. I want to be able to build a nice upper arch all the way through, okay? So once we're done doing that, I still need to fill this front end in. I'm going to get another medium-sized pearl, lightly tap it. I'm gonna turn my brush around. I'm gonna set it right here. I'm gonna blend it into my body. With the body of my brush, I'm gonna make sure that I walk it up into the area that I just sculpted out. And then notice all this excess right here. I'm gonna use the body of my brush and start bringing it down. It almost feels like I'm getting closer to the base of my brush as I start bringing it down over the tip to add the right thickness to this stiletto nail. That way when I shape it, I'm going to be able to shape it without removing any of the tip. Doesn't have to be razor sharp. You're going to be able to do that with your hand file at the end. So again, bring it as close as you can to the very, very front. And then as you can see, we've completed our stiletto. We've built out our stiletto nail. We just have to wait till it dries and we can file it into shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the form off. And as you can see from the side profile, you see how straight my sidewalls are? Just from the form. Like, look at how straight they are all the way to the tip of the nail. And I have a little bit of bulk right here, which I want. That way when I'm actually filing this way, but I have a great upper arch up here. I have more thickness back here. I don't want it here, I want it back here than I do in the front. So let's go ahead and file this. So I need to make sure that my file, take a look at this, it keeps contact with the whole entire side. I want to make sure that when I file the side, I'm going to file perfectly straight. The only thing that you want to see is the blue side of your file. You don't want to open it up like this. You need to keep it as straight as possible. Do not hold the file with your thumb on top. Grip it like this so that when you file, you're going to have great contact. Repeat the same process on the other side, keeping contact with the whole entire side, right? And you can see how nice and straight that is. I'm trying to make this as sharp as we possibly can. Okay, now I'm going to turn it to the side. I'm going to line it up, right, at the lowest point. File it. If you build it, if you have the right tilt on your forms and you build it, you're going to build. Look at this. You're going to build perfectly straight sidewalls all the way out to the front. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. I'm going to line it up at the lowest point. I'm going to file. I'm going to keep filing until I reach, right, the sides, and I'm going to have the same exact thing. And if your form is on straight, one thing I do want you guys to notice is if you're looking down the barrel of the nail, look at this. If you're looking down the barrel of the nail, it's completely flat all the way to the point. You cannot see through it. You have a nice flat, right, build out. Look at that. Let's go ahead and electric file this into shape and file finish it. I'm going to make sure, I don't really need to file that much at the back end. I just need to just do a light tune-up. I'm gonna come all the way through, all the way to the front. I'm gonna look down the barrel of the nail. Am I on? I'm gonna come all the way through the body. I'm gonna come all the way through the body. Again, I don't really have to file that much. You can see how even you can actually see how even my C curve is. Look at that. Nice and even all the way through. Look how flat that point is. It's exactly what I want. I'm gonna come around the cuticle area in one direction, and then I'm just going to finish by coming through the rest of the body in one direction. And then I'm done with my electric file. I'm going to use my hand file to do the rest of my finishing. Come through, make sure that all my sides are nice and even, surface is perfectly filed out. Ooh, that looks good. And then just do my final detailing across the surface in this direction. This is going to give me a nice even profile from side to side. I do this with all my nails, right? You always want to look, right? You want to look at the side profile. You want to be able to look at the client profile, down the barrel of the nail, and then obviously down this angle as well, looking down this barrel when you're filing. You have to look at all angles so that it's nice and even. This is going to be a really, really sharp stiletto nail. Okay. Okay, we're going to get some swine. Alright. And then when you paint the nail, this is where you're going to be able to see how sharp this is. So, again, proper form application, free edge application, bodybuilding, 3 variables set you up for successful stiletto nails.